Hello friends, welcome to another video. In this video, we will learn about observer design pattern. We will discuss it in detail. What is observer design pattern? When to use it? We will also discuss it with the help of an example, and then we will dive into the code and see how we can implement it. So let's dive right in. So what is observer design pattern? It's a software design pattern in which observable maintains a list of observers or subscribers and notifies them whenever the state changes. Here, observable and subject both can be used interchangeably. I would prefer to call it observable, and the observers or the subscribers that can also be used interchangeably. But for in our example, we will use the term observers. So now, when to use this observer design pattern? The simple answer is wherever you have a pub sub kind of model where you have a publisher and you have multiple subscribers listening to that publisher, that's where you can use this pattern. Let's take an example. So imagine that you have a website and that website supports multiple themes. For simplicity, let's say it supports a bright theme and a dark theme. Now we have multiple components on the page, on the web page. We can have a header, we can have a footer, navbar, and a body. Similarly, there can be multiple other components on the page. And the user has an option on the page that he can select the theme he wants. Similar to what we see on GitHub, where we have a toggle. When user selects a toggle, it can change the theme between dark and bright. So now let's say by default the theme is bright, and whenever the user toggles the button, the theme changes to dark. Now one way to do it is we somehow keep on polling the theme, and whenever it changes, we uh, we change the color of all the components on the page. But a better way to do it could be to implement using observer pattern, where the theme is the observable, where it provides functionality where the page components can subscribe to it or unsubscribe to it, and whenever the theme changes it will notify all the observers. So in this case we have these four observers which has a method update. Now whenever the theme will change, it will notify all the observers with the latest theme, and all the page components will re-render the style. If the theme is bright and user has changed it to dark, all the page components will apply the dark theme. And if the user has dark theme and toggles to bright, then all the page components again change the style to bright. Now let's dive into the code and see how it's implemented. We have observable, which has these methods subscribe, unsubscribe, and notify observers. And we just have one observable, which is theme. Theme has a list of observers and which theme it is currently, the mode, which could be a bright or the dark mode. Initially, we'll provide a theme or a mode. In our example, we'll provide the bright mode, and we'll initialize the list of observers as empty list. And in subscribe and unsubscribe, we will add the observer to the observers list, and if it's an unsubscribe, then we will remove the observer from the list. And whenever the theme will change, we will notify all the observers, which is simply we will tell them to update themselves using this latest theme. Now let's take a look at the observers side. We have one observer interface which has a method update and takes the mode. Then we have implemented 4 page components using this observer. Let's go to one of them. This is for footer, and it has just this one method update which takes the theme and prints this, that applying the theme. Okay, and same goes for other classes. It's very similar. We are not doing much, but in real world scenario there could be a lot of logic within these concrete classes. Okay, now let's go to main class and see how it's implemented. So first of all, we'll create our theme, which is an observable, and then we will create our page components, which are observers, and then we will subscribe them to this theme. All of them are subscribed now, and the moment user changes the theme, we will notify all the observers. So let's try and run this and see what happens. So first the theme was bright, and then we changed it to dark, and that's why you see applying dark theme to header, footer, navbar, body, all of them. Now we can also unsubscribe any of the page components. Let's say I want to unsubscribe the footer part. I don't want to change the color footer. It will be same irrespective of what the theme is. And then I change the theme to bright. Okay, now let's run this again and see what happens. Now in the first try we saw that we changed the theme to dark and all of the components rendered in the dark mode, but then we unsubscribed the footer and then changed the theme to bright. Now only other components apart from the footer changes the theme to bright. So this is how the observer design pattern can be implemented. This is a very basic example of it, and all the details you can find in the readme file, and I'll put the link to the GitHub repository in the description below. Till then, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for upcoming videos in this design pattern series. Till then, happy coding. Bye.